I'm your host, Shannon Sharp. I'm also the proprietor of Club Shay Shay. Stopping by for conversation and a drink today is an OG original. A master wordsmith, a hardcore word assassin, a Grammy Award-winning artist, one of the greatest rappers of all time. He helped shape the way hip-hop is viewed worldwide. He defined the term lyricist. He sold over 500,000 albums before CDs, streams, and social media. A pioneer from the golden era. He transformed live performance. He revolutionized hip-hop fashion. A legendary entertainer, actor, songwriter, producer, and a model. One of the most influential and skilled, respected MCs ever. He's been active for over 40 years. An icon, a Hall of Famer, royalty, Brooklyn born, a key to the borough. Here he is, one of the greatest lyricists of all time. Big Daddy Kane. Kane,
my brother.
When you hear me read off those accolades after being in the business for 40 years, what are you thinking?
What am I thinking? I guess main thing to come to mind is it's only been 37.
I added 3 extra years to that thing, huh?
Yeah. But it's all good. I take it, man. I take it. I mean, this is just something that, I started doing as a kid and realizing that I have a voice and people want to hear it. I've tried to do the right thing with it and, promote the right message. So, all these, decades later to have people, giving you accolades and flowers and things of that nature, I think it's a blessing, man,
When you got started, I mean, in the because this thing goes back, DJ Hurt.
Kool Herc. Yeah.
DJ Kool Herc, in the Bronx. And you got Melly Mel. They started this thing. So is that when you got hooked? Because prior to that, there was nothing else. So how did you, this is what I want to do?
Back when Herc and Africa Bambaataa and Grandmaster Flash Nodum started, I was probably about 5 years old.
Right.
So I was really, playing with toys and things of that nature. It wasn't until 1977. I heard a DJ in Brooklyn by the name of Master D.
Okay.
And he threw on Love Is the Message by MFSB, and I seen the craziest thing in the world. I just seen all the mature teens and adults line up by the DJ booth.
Okay.
And they all just around there getting on the mic, dip, die, socialize, the age of one. And I'd never seen nothing like that before. That was 77. So hip hop had already been going on in the Bronx and like that. But this was in Brooklyn, my first time really seeing it. And I was like, all right, I don't know what that is, but I want to be a part.
You want to be a part of it.
So you're right. Yeah.
Kane, how did you find your voice? Because how did you find okay, this is kind of the message that I'm going to deliver, because you're great with wordplay. And you KRS-One, we're going to get through the backdrop of that. But how did you decide to say, you know what, this is kind of the direction I want to go?
Well, you talking about lyrically?
Yes.
Well, I'm from Brooklyn. So as a kid, it's nothing you want to play outside and have fun. But, when you see a Coupe de Ville, El Dorado, or a Deuce and a Quarter pull up, and one of the pimps and the hustlers get out, you rush over there. Right. Because they're going to give you a dub. They're going to give you a 20 spot just to run to the store to either get them a bill or a Lucy. Right. And tell you to keep the change. So you're around that type of element. And then you're hearing them talk. And the way they talk, and everybody just fascinated with it. Oh! And they just stand there. I remember one of my first rhymes, I used something I heard one of the older hustler dudes say. One of my first rhymes, I said, I know the tricks, I know the trades, and I'm sharp as a motherfucking razor blade. That was something my older dude said. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm a kid putting that in a rhyme. You see? So it was I'm like, I just want to have that slick talk, Yeah.
Brooklyn, you mentioned Brooklyn. What is it in the water? What is it in the soil? Yourself, Biggie, Jay-Z, Kim, Foxy, Mos Def, Busta, Fab, Pop Smoke, Joey Badass. What is it about that borough that's been able to produce this?
I think that quality of uniqueness. I just think that Brooklyn just got their own way of doing things. Right. We have our own way of doing things. I just, think that plays a major part, from what we seen in the streets in Brooklyn and how it impacted us in a way where this is what we want to talk about.
Okay. Were you the first one from Brooklyn?
No, Houdini.
Oh, okay.
Houdini. First mainstream, first hip-hop sex symbols. Houdini. Yeah.
I remember in 1986, I saw Houdini. I saw Run DMC. I saw the Fat Boys. I saw about 5 groups at Savannah Civic Center. I'll never forget. 1986. And it was unbelievable. And now that you mentioned, I was like, I did not know they were from Brooklyn.
Yeah, Houdini's from Brooklyn, Fat Boys. Yeah. I think, if I'm correct, I believe the first MC to have a recording deal from Brooklyn was Jimmy Spicer. He had a song called Super Rhymes and Dollar Bill, y'all. But Houdini were like the first to impact.
Knowing what you know now, is that when you look back at it, and you didn't know that there were going to be so many more that come after you, but did you feel like an obligation, like, okay, I'm from Brooklyn, you know, Houdini, but the first to like get on there individually and do your thing, did you feel like you had to start this thing off, hold it up, because they were going to be coming after you, or did you not think that far in advance?
I felt like I wanted to try to help other talented artists get established. That's what I felt, because that's how I got on. You know, I mean, I started rapping in '82. I was making demos and things of that nature, and no one was checking for me. I couldn't get a record deal to save my life. Then in '84, I met Biz Markie.
Is that where y'all started for me? The Juice Crew?
Well, Juice Crew was before Biz. That was with Mr. Magic.
You're right.
Yeah, Mr. Magic, you know, Fly Tide, all of, you know. Roxanne Shante was the first artist.
MC Shan was it?
Yeah, Roxanne Shante was the first artist, then Shan, Craig G, and then Biz, I believe. But Biz, I met him before he even had a deal. And I met him, we battled. We battled. And after the battle, you know, he says, yo, you dope, you should get down with me. You know, I do a lot of shows, we make a little bit of money, and I promise you I'm gonna get you a record deal. So that's who believed in me. That's who put me on the stage for the first time. So I mean, with everything that Biz did for me, you know, once I, you know, got out in the public, I wanted to try to do that for other artists.
So you each one teach one, and someone gave you an opportunity. So now naturally you feel it's Kane's job to give back like somebody gave to me. Everybody don't look that way. A lot of times people get put on realizing someone helped cut them on. Now I'm gonna pull the ladder up because I don't want nobody else to get on.
Yeah. There's a lot of selfish thinking. I've seen it, I've experienced it, but you know, that's not my style.
Right.
You know,
This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Week 3 of football was very entertaining. Those blocked field goals that led to touchdowns, both by the Jets and the Eagles, were crazy. Jalen Hurts and the offense really showed up too. And don't get me started on Jonathan Taylor and the Colts. They had a date. Making picks on Prize Picks is simple. Be sure you download the app for the upcoming games. Which players are going off, which players aren't. Prize Picks is the best way to win cash this football season. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join millions of users and sign up today. Download the app today. Use code Shannon to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Shannon to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. You were Biggie's favorite rapper. Did you met Biggie?
Yeah. I've been around Big twice. But we had 3 phone calls. You know, it was always funny, you know, too, because we didn't have a direct connection. It was my DJ, Mr. C, who would call and put us on the phone together. And when he clicked Big in, the first thing he say, the real B.I.G. That's the first thing we just laugh and whatnot. Then he tell me what's on his mind, But I mean, he was someone that I had so much respect for, man, and I thought was super talented, because I've seen a lot of MCs, develop, their style and become better throughout the years, I saw Biggie do this in like a year.
Yes.
In like 1 year, I seen him go from here to here lyrically. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was like, had he lived, I think he would have probably been the greatest MC ever.
Wow. Did you know that he had that ability? Because like you said, it wasn't long. It wasn't like he had a 5-year or 10-year career. It like he blew up and then it was gone. Just like that.
I mean, it's the type of thing where back then when Mr. C was trying to get him a deal, C would be like, yo, he don't remind you of you? Nah. And then he came out with, I believe, Party and Bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he rocking. And he's like,
Party and
yeah. And he's asked me again. He's like, yo, you don't, because see, Biggie talked about stuff I didn't talk about.
correct.
See what I'm saying? So I'm like, nah, I don't see it. Then when he came out with the remix for One More Chance, you know, and when I'm like, however, I stay Coogee down to the socks. I called C that time.
Yeah.
All right, my bad. I see it now.
I see it.
I see it. Yeah. I was like, yeah, he's a monster.
Biggie invited you to one of Tupac shows. How did you and Tupac get?
I was performing in Madison Square Garden.
Okay.
For the Budweiser Superfest.
Okay.
And Biggie wanted to come.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, you know. And Biggie was hanging with Pac because he was in New York filming Above the Rim.
Okay.
So he asked, could Pac come?
Okay.
And I was like, absolutely, because I knew Pac when he was dancing for Digital Underground.
Yeah.
You know, because they were the opening act on my first tour. So I'd known Pac for that, you know.
Right.
So I was like, absolutely, yeah, bring him. So when they brought him, I called them, you know, both on stage.
Right.
And let them freestyle, you know.
Damn.
Yeah.
How often does that happen? That someone of your ilk, caliber, invite somebody on stage, y'all go ahead and freestyle it?
Well, the reason I do it a lot, but the reason I really wanted to do it that particular night is because when I first got on, Bobby Brown did it for me.
Oh,
You
okay.
know?
Yes.
Because this is when they wasn't really letting hip hop in the garden like that, you know. I think maybe the last ones to be there might have been like Run DMC or LL, you know. So like Bobby Brown had a show, you know, his first solo album, and he let me get on and rock with him and perform one of my songs. So here's Biggie, a new up and coming artist. Here's Pop, you know, he filming a movie. Fat Joe also, but I ran out of time. I couldn't let Joe on.
Right.
But they was telling me 5 minutes left. But I was like, y'all come on, you know, rock.
You know, Joe gonna tell that story. Joe gonna say you had 25 minutes left. You know, Joe gonna add some yeast to that thing so that thing grow now.
No, listen, let me explain something to you. Ain't nothing better than watching Pajokio do his thing.
Pajokio, come on, Kane.
when he getting in his element. I love it. I love it. But I'm gonna let the world know straight up. He telling the truth when he say that he was there and was supposed to get on that particular night at Madison Square Garden. Joe telling the truth.
Cause you know people say, man, you wasn't supposed to go on with Kane. Kane wasn't about to let you on.
Nah, he's telling the straight up truth. And in all honesty, it was something that, you know, really bothered me.
Right.
Because he was a new artist at the time. So that would have been a good look for him. But they were like 5 minutes and I still hadn't done Warm It Up Kane or Ain't No Half Stepping, so I didn't have no time.
You had no time to get him on. Did you ever get in the studio with Pac? Did you ever see Pac in the studio?
We worked together. Before, like a year before he passed, Suge Knight wanted to start Death Row East.
Right.
And, you know, he invited me out. We went out to a Tyson fight. And, you know, we talked about working. And then we left Vegas and flew right back to LA. I went in the studio and I recorded a song called Wherever You Are with Pac. I wrote a song for Hammer called What You Gonna Do For Me, and me, Pac, and Hammer, all three of us did a song together called Too Late Player, all in the same night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Suge offered you an opportunity. Did he try to sign you to Death Row East?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why you didn't sign?
It was like, he asked me what did I want. I said, 400,000 an album. I didn't, because I'm checking the temperature, because at that point in time, no one was really trying to sign me. So I'm trying to check the temperature in the room, you know. So I didn't want to go hard, so I said 400,000. He was like, "That's a strange number. 400. Why wouldn't you just simply say 500?" Okay, 500. And he like, "Man, you Big Daddy Kane, man." He was like, "I have to make the dog pound. I have to make, I forgot the other artists he mentioned. I have to, make them. You already an established name. I would be insulting you to give you less than $1 million. Okay, cool." And I mean, I thought we had a deal.
Right.
But then he said, "Look, I don't know about your financial status right now, but if you need a little something, I can, give you a little 100,000 right now, to take with you, And then that's what made me uncomfortable.
Oh yeah. You felt that you took that 100,000, you was gonna be indebted to this man.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
that just felt like a gangster move, and I was like, nah, I'm good, man, I'm good, and I didn't do it.
Yeah. Biggie was 24 when he passed. Pac was 25 when he passed. Given what they were doing at the time of their untimely demise, how big do you think they would have been? Let's just say they live another 10 years, another 15, another 20 years.
I think that Pac would have probably been the Michael Jackson of hip hop.
Wow.
Because you got to understand, not only did women love Pac, men love Pac.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Men, like women wanted to be with Pac, men wanted to be like Pac. So I mean, he was a very, very powerful figure. Anytime you pass away and people have sightings of you, that's when you're a bad dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. True.
Like people still swear out that Michael Jackson's still alive.
Yeah.
People still swear out Elvis Presley's alive.
Right.
People doing that with Pac.
Right. How much do you think him being something that he's not played a role? Because a lot of people say Pac wasn't what he was rapping about, what he was pretending to be. This thug life, and he had California, tatted on him. He wasn't that. Do you think that played a role in his demise?
I think that Pac had a lot of hood ways in him. I think that Pac was a real dude. I think that Pac was a good dude. I think that the bad thing was just that he was easily influenced. I'm not gonna sit here and say that he wasn't about it, he wasn't real. I think that he was just easily influenced.
He was a chameleon because he get with executives, be it TV or music execs, and he was charming, he was charismatic. Now, all of a sudden, he gets with people that live that lifestyle. He could convince you that he's about that lifestyle.
But you see, you gotta understand, when he was a dancer for Digital Underground,
yeah,
I don't know how many nights there would be where I would have to sit him, and it was him and Money B.
Yeah.
Money B wasn't doing that.
Right.
Pac and my dancers, Scoob and Scrap.
Yeah.
I'd have to sit them down like, yo, why are y'all fighting at an after party? Why are y'all, you know what I'm saying? So I've seen that side of Pac before he was Pac.
Right.
I've seen that side. I've seen him, get into it and romp with cats, after a show or backstage. I've seen that side.
What was that about though, Kane? Because you're like, he's up and coming, and then he is at an after party, he's squabbling at an after party. Why? You don't have to do that.
We all did that dumb shit, man. You can't just put that on Pac.
Right.
We all did that.
Right.
Man,
the things you're going through. I mean, you think about it, he passed at 25, so he had to be what, a late teenager, early 20s?
You ain't never had a fight at an after party?
Nah.
Come on, Shaq.
Nah. I ain't never had no fight at no after party.
But then again, you a big ass dude. So
I ain't really trying to go to that.
They probably ain't want that smoke. So it's yeah.
Let me ask you this though, Kane. If you could go back and do anything different in your career, what would it be?
If I could do anything different, I don't know. That's a dangerous thing to do. I don't know if I really want to.
You ain't trying to rewrite history.
Yeah, I don't think I want to mess up what I have. Yeah. I don't think I want to do that.
The money was money. I mean, look, there was no internet. There was no streaming. You were selling hard copy albums
Mm-hmm.
and
CDs.
CDs.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to have somebody go wait in the line for this drop, and the line be around the building. That was a powerful thing back then.
Oh yeah. Now I used to love like stuff like that. Like I remember, like me and Albie Shore, we dropped like around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So Warner Brothers had us out on a promotional tour, and I get every day, you know, we just there clowning and joking and having a good time, and to like come in a record store and see the line, like you said, wrapping around the corner. Oh man, beautiful thing, man. I sit there and start acting silly and whatnot, you know, as they start coming in, you know, me and Al sitting there. I'm like, all right, all the light-skinned fans on this side, dark-skinned fans over here. You know?
Do you think will it ever be like that again, Kane?
No.
Will music ever sell like that? Will people ever line up to want to hear a record, to go purchase a physical copy of a record or a CD? Will it ever be like that again, or are we relegated to streams and other forms of receiving that?
I think that it's like that right now, just not as strong.
Okay.
You have artists that selling vinyl for like $250 a copy, you know, and people are buying it, they're purchasing it, you know. So it's happening. It does exist. But will it be at the forefront like it was before? I doubt it. Because the world has pretty much become, you know, a fast food. The world is fast food now. So it's going to be really, really hard to go
people
back.
ain't trying to wait on nothing, Kane.
Nah.
I mean, hey, they don't want to go to the grocery store. They call somebody. They call somebody to shop for them. They call Uber Eats. They call DoorDash. They call.
No. Hold this one. People don't even want to wait on the truth.
Wow.
It's not about, you know, getting the story right. It's about getting the story first. Yeah, you know. Yeah.
Okay, what have you learned about money?
What I learned about money, I mean, you know, for one, you know, you have to protect it. You have to protect it and spend it wisely, you know. And
but how does a young man that's coming into a large sum of money, coming up from the background a lot of us came up from, impoverished background, maybe it wasn't a two-parent home, it was a mom or a grandmom, and you've never had, and you get this sum of money and all the things that you've ever wanted as a child or as a young man, you get an opportunity to get it all at once. You can get whatever you want, as much as you want. How does one refrain from being reckless? Because when we get money, Kane, and we in our 20s, we think we're gonna be getting money like this in our 30s, 40s, 50s.
yeah,
So it ain't gonna end.
that's the mentality. But, you know, you have to understand that, you know, there was always someone before you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? There was Run DMC before me. There was a Melly Mel before me. You know, there was a Jim Brown before you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you have to understand there was someone before me.
You were, but to see rappers what they become, they fly private. They got. I mean, I saw Drake. I was like, whoa, man, that Joe got a 767. Decked out. These guys, you know, 30, 40, 50, 60 million dollars, nothing for these guys now a year. Kane probably looking back like, damn, I'm just 40 years too soon.
Well said, man. Well said. But you know, I am so happy for these cats. Like, you know, when I see that, you know, when I hear about Drake's success, Jay-Z's success, you know, I love hearing those stories because I know how difficult, especially with Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Because this is someone who I tried to get a deal for in the early 90s. You know what I'm saying? And no one was receptive. So to see this dude become a billionaire, I'm like, in their face, yes. You know, I love it.
Right.
You know, and then that goes for the rest of them as well, you know.
Kane, what is the biggest difference with rap, when you was coming up and moving it to the forefront, let's just say when you first started, and then say the first 10 years versus what you see now in the rap game?
Well, I mean, I have this conversation with a lot of people all the time when they're against certain things that artists of today do. I try to explain to them that, you know, when we were doing it, you know, like the first rap song came out 79.
Sugar Hill Gang?
Yeah.
Rap with Delight?
Yeah. That's 79.
Yeah.
I got a deal in 88. That's 9 years later.
Correct.
Even at that point, hip hop wasn't respected as a music genre.
No.
You know, we wasn't really acknowledged.
Nope.
And damn near couldn't really get on the radio.
No.
Even at that point,
Right.
you know.
Even
So,
MTV didn't really play y'all like that, and you didn't get the Grammys, didn't acknowledge you until 92.
there you go. So it's like, it's the type of thing where I try to explain to a lot of artists, you know, from my era, it's like you got to separate the culture from the genre, because now hip hop is a genre. It's a music genre, just like R&B, just like rock, you know, just like pop. And let's just look at R&B. Two of the greatest R&B vocalists ever: Marvin Gaye, Luther Vandross. Two of the greatest ever. Both of them had writers. So you see, like an artist of today, you be like, yo, so he not even writing his own stuff.
Yeah.
He ain't hip hop. It's like, culturally speaking, we didn't do that. I still don't do that.
Right.
I let someone write a hook, but not my verse.
Okay.
You know, that's because I'm a part of the culture. I'm from that era,
Right.
from that cloth. But artists today, they're coming out in this thing as it's a hip hop genre. So they're looking at themselves as artists, not as MCs. So, you know, it's different to them.
And some of it is still hardcore, because I hear that, man, he don't even write, he got ghostwriters, he got this. But I never heard anybody say, well, Whitney can't sing because she didn't write the song. Mariah can't sing because she didn't write the song. I never hear that with other genres except rap.
That's because it's like, it's people that understand the culture, that understand hip hop culture. You know, because like what we call biting, today they call paying homage.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just different. Like, I mean, even like what we called a freestyle in the 70s and 80s. Today they call it a written rhyme.
Right. Yeah, because freestyle, I'm thinking, okay, they say, hey, coming to the mic, hey, to freestyle this is Kane. Okay, they start playing a beat. You going through, okay, how you want to, you know, and then you go. If you already got the song in your head, you already know what you're going to say, and they drop a beat. That ain't a freestyle. A freestyle means you got to come up there and give it to them free.
That's today's definition. You know? No, you're not wrong.
Okay.
You're not wrong.
Okay.
Because that is today's definition.
Okay.
But back in the 80s, we said off the dome.
Yes.
70s, they said off the top.
Right.
Today, they say freestyle. With us, if you write a rhyme, and it's not about a girl, it's not about poverty, you know? It's not no gangster stuff about, you know, who you shot up. It's just a rhyme just bragging about how dope you are. That rhyme that you wrote, that's called a freestyle, because it's free of style.
Right.
You're not talking about no specific subject matter.
Oh, okay.
So that's what a freestyle
That's what a
meant to us
freestyle is.
back in the
Free
day.
is that you're not talking about anything specific.
Right. Yeah.
Off the dome. So you just going up there and you just talking about
What they call freestyle now is what we called off the dome back in the days.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You just say the first thing come to mind and make it rhyme, you know?
Right. But what happened to the lyricists? Where did they go? Did all y'all retire at once, Kane? Did all y'all, hey, I'm up out of here. I'm up, May. When you leaving, I'm leaving. Where are they now? You know, the story that used to come on TV, like the athletes or whomever, the entertainers, where are they now? Where are the lyricists now?
Kendrick Lamar is a great lyricist.
Okay. J. Cole?
Conway the Machine
Okay.
is a great lyricist. Benny the Butcher
Oh, okay,
is a
really?
great lyricist.
Okay.
Lady London is a magnificent lyricist. J. Cole is my favorite of this era.
Really?
My favorite.
Okay.
You know, great lyricists. So they're there.
They're there.
They're there. It's just that music is going through this phase where it's, you know, the fans ain't really focused on the lyrics. When you talk to someone, you ask them about a song, the first thing they say is, yo, yeah, that's a vibe. You know, like the disco era.
Yes.
You know, you can, as long as you can hear that,
Yeah.
you didn't care what the body was singing. You know what I'm saying? It was vibe.
True.
You know?
Streaming now. Where are you on streaming? You cool with it?
Well, I mean, I don't new music out, you know, so, you know, it is what it is. I wish it was different because I understand that, you know, artists are not getting the money that they're supposed to, and they're being paid less for streams.
Right.
So,
Then they would a hard copy.
yeah,
Physical.
you know. So I mean, I'm sympathetic, you know, for the younger generation that's coming out trying to make music, if that's what they plan to do for their livelihood.
Right.
You know, because it's going to be very difficult, you know, depending on streams.
Right.
You know.
Kane, when you sold 500,000 copies, did you realize what a feat, what you had accomplished? Did you understand at that moment what you had done?
I mean, yeah, they gave me the gold record, so I knew what I did, but it's just that's never been my mentality.
Right.
You know? My Grammy, let me see, I got it in 90, maybe, 91. I can't remember what year it was. I mean, I never put it up until like 2000. You know, my whole thing was this. What meant the most to me was someone coming up to me saying, yo, man, your music got me through high school. Your music got me through college.
Right.
Your music got me through Desert Storm. That's what meant, those were the rewards.
Right.
Those were the most important things to me. Because I'm doing this for my fans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not for a Grammy or a Soul Train Award,
right,
or, you know. If I get it, cool.
Oh, you're appreciative of it, but
yeah, I'm appreciative, but that's not what I set out to do.
Right.
That's not why I made music. You know.
Your catalog. You own your catalog?
Not yet.
But you're gonna get it.
Allah willing. I mean, Allah willing. I hope so, man. You know, yeah.
Prince, he never let anybody sample his songs, but you got one. How?
I don't know. Somebody told me that Prince liked me. You know. I mean, musically.
Yeah.
Somebody told me that because we met, and you know, he was cool, and when I wanted to use Pop Life, you know, he was with it. You know, even other than that, when he did the Batman soundtrack, he did a song called Bat Dance, and he asked Benny Medina, you know, to have me, you know, rap on it, and I put a verse on it. And with us both being Warner Brothers, you know, we thought everything was cool because Batman was coming out on Warner Film.
Yeah.
But even though
1989, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
Probably 89, yeah.
But even though Warner Brothers Records had rap artists, Warner's Film didn't want nothing to do with hip hop, so they took my verse off.
Oh.
But Prince had me on his own. You know, yeah.
Wow. Where are you on sampling? You let people say, because I ask LL, I ask a lot of people. A lot of people say, yeah, I'm not really big on sampling. Talked to Bobby Brown, had him on. He's like, I don't really want to mess it up. But you know what? If it's the right person and I hear it first, somebody comes to Kane and says, you know, they want to sample something. Do you need to hear it before you let them put it out, or you just sign off on it?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I would probably rather not hear it.
Really?
I would rather not hear it. Yeah.
Because if you hear it, don't like it, you ain't gonna let them put it out.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to not like it and then be like, nah, don't you know. It's like, if this is an opportunity for you to shine and, you know, become successful, I'd rather, you know, you just do you, because I'm from that era. That's all we did, you know, because you have to understand, Shannon, you know, when hip hop started, you know, you can't say, so what's the origin of hip hop music? People can ask that about country. People can ask that about rock. People can ask that about jazz. You can't ask that about hip hop, because the origin of hip hop music is a DJ cutting up somebody else's music. See what I'm saying? So there is no origin. Like Grandmaster Caz, he said it best. hip hop didn't invent anything; it reinvented everything. Those are the words of Grandmaster Caz.
Wow.
You know, so musically, that's all we did was rhyme over other people, the break part of other people's songs.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody young, that's what they want to do. Yo, that's hip hop to me. Do you? It's Mama Wildy Music Publishing, but do you?
Studio. When you going in there, like, okay, I'm just trying to figure out how Kane got himself, because like before a game, I'm getting in a train of thought. Okay, I'm go play in these. They call this play and this down and distance. We get this defense. I need to be ready. Blah blah blah. What's going through when you go into the studio? What is Kane thinking?
Well, it depends on what I'm trying to do musically.
Okay.
Because I'll sit and listen to a beat, come up with a concept, meaning what I want to talk about, and then I shut the beat off and go somewhere else with it. Like if it's something I want to talk about, something sad, I turn the beat off and throw some Otis Redding on some David Ruffin, and zone out. Like, how can I, interpret this in today's slang? Like what Otis is saying, what David Ruffin is saying. How can I, say that in today's slang? I want to say something sexy, turn it off. Throw some Marvin Gaye on, throw some Isley Brothers on, Yeah, it's smooth,
Are you a writer? Because I listen to people say like Hov and Lil Wayne, and there are guys that don't write down anything. Hov, and they tell the great story, like Hov would hear a beat and he bobbing his head up in the corner, and then he'll go in there and he'll just lay his track. Are you a writer? Do you like to write?
Yeah, I love to think of myself as an artist. When I say artist, I don't mean musical artist. I mean artist, like I'm painting. So it's like I like to take my time and paint a portrait just right, even if I have to walk away from it for a couple of days and come back and finish then. I like to take my time so I can paint it just right, because from that first line to the very last one, I want it all to make sense and connect.
Tied up.
Yeah.
Everything ties together. It has to have a meaning.
Yeah.
You've been in the studio with Teddy Riley, Patti LaBelle, Barry White, Q, Hammer, Busta Rhymes, UGK, 3 6 Mafia, The Game. Like when you go in the studio, is there a different Kane? Is there a different mindset according to who you're going in studio with?
No.
Are you trying? Let's just say, I'm one of the dope rappers. I'm one of the top 5 rappers out right now, and I say, Kane, I want to get you on this track. You coming in there, you try to destroy me. You try to say, hey, the man invited me on the track. Let me do my thing and get up out of here. You try to not shine me.
It depends on how you address me. If you ask me to do the song with you and spread love, then I want you to shine.
Okay. I'm
gonna do something to make my presence felt, but I'm not gonna overdo it. I want you to shine.
Okay.
If you like, all right, Kane, I need you to be spitting hard. You know what I'm saying? Don't come up in here none of that sexy shit, man. I need you to. Oh, word? Okay. Got you.
That's what you want?
Got you. No problem. Yeah. Now I'm gonna eat you up. Yeah.
But when we were talking about, to go back, when we talk about the lyricists, and you mentioned like some of the lyricists now, Kane, bro, it's like every other artist was a lyricist in your time. I mean, they were tremendous with words.
Yeah. They
did not play. I mean, you look at KRS-One, you look at Kool Moe Dee, you look at You Like Yourself, you look at Molly Marr. I mean, you got shit, bro.
Back then, it was very, very, important. And I feel like people that were getting an understanding of hip hop, that's what they were looking for.
Right.
They were looking for lyrical MC.
Right.
And then especially after like 86 when Rakim came out.
Yeah.
I think that like a lot of labels were really starting to look for lyrical MCs. Because
prior to that, were they looking for that?
I think that during the Run DMC on up to the Salt and Pepper era, they were looking for people that could have party songs.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
party songs, you know, songs that bang in the club and, you know, you could, you know, dance to. I think that they were looking more for that.
Right.
You know, but then 86, you know, you had Rakim, you had KRS-One, and I think they started really looking for more lyrical stuff.
Right.
And then 87, you had myself, Kool G Rap, you know, and that was just pretty much, yeah, you got to be like this to get a
Right.
deal.
But did you guys come from battling backgrounds? Is
Yeah.
that where the lyricists,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
real, the true, because they have a little bit of it now, but not like then. Because you guys had like groups, and you guys would go and you guys would battle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I was doing research for this thing. Came,
Mm-hmm.
man, y'all beefed all the time. It wasn't everything was a beef. I'm like, here I am thinking like, man, these guys beefing out. No, y'all, Juice Crew and the Boogie Down.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn.
Yeah, there was you know, there was MC Shan and KRS-One, you know, they had, you know, the Juice Crew,
Right.
Boogie Down Productions, beef, MC Light and Antoinette,
Yeah.
LL Cool J and Kumo D.
Yep.
You know, it was.
So this thing, people look at it now and think, okay, and obviously the big one, Drake and Kendrick Lamar.
Mhm.
But then, you know, people forgot, then like, okay, well, Biggie and Tupac had a thing going.
Yeah.
And then NWA, Ice Cube, when he left, he came out with No Vaseline.
Yeah.
And they were going back and forth.
Jay-Z and Nas.
Jay-Z and Nas. Even though LL and Kumo D, but he had one with Fab. When you go back and look, say like from 85 to like 90, bro, y'all stayed into it.
Yeah.
y'all stayed into it.
I mean, well, you gotta keep in mind, we were all very, very competitive.
Yes.
Very, very competitive.
Yes.
You know, I mean, like, I've had Reverend Run,
Yes.
come to me in my dressing room and tell me how dope of an MC I am, how much he loved me. I go on stage, do my thing, rip it down. Run DMC come on after me, and Run be like, you know, like, you know, so Kane came up here and did his thing, you know. Well, we had a lot of superstars in this house tonight, but I want you to know, this is my MF in the house. You know,
Like, whoa, bro.
You know, like, you know, I mean, this is stuff I've seen, you
Right.
know, stuff where like Eric B is at my house on a Thursday night.
Right.
We sitting there laughing at our fathers. He brought his pops over and we sitting there laughing at our fathers trying to look at Luke Skywalker videos. And what I mean, Eric sitting there like, look at him play dirty old asses, man.
Yeah.
We laughing. Friday night, we got a show together. Eric will walk right past me like, you don't know me. You know, because I mean, we were very competitive like that. You know what I'm saying?
It's time to lock in now.
Yeah, you know. But it was love. It was
Right.
love. It wasn't no real beef.
Right.
It was like, I got to have it tonight.
Right.
That's all. I got to have it tonight.
You won the Grammy with Quincy Jones, who was the greatest producer of all time. What made Quincy so special?
Quincy, man. Like, Quincy is one hell of a producer. Quincy has an amazing vision,
That ear, man.
you know.
How you go Ray Charles to Frank Sinatra to Michael Jackson to...
Yeah. Nah, I mean, with me knowing this dude don't really know hip hop like that, I'm like, yeah, you made the dude, but you know, okay,
Right.
you know, but you know, I'm in the studio, and he's like, "What you know about Sarah Vaughan?" Nothing. You know, what you know about Ella Fitzgerald? She be scatting. You know. He's asking. He had someone bring. I didn't even know this existed. Did you know that back in the 90s they had black encyclopedias?
No.
Neither did I. They brought like about 20, 30 books in, black encyclopedias, and we going through and looking up Sarah Vaughan, Dizzy Gillespie, Ella Fitzgerald. And as I'm looking, he's like, oh, you know, me and Miles Davis, we used to call each other such and such. You know, Ella, and he's telling me all these here stories. And he's like, that real fast thing, can you keep it going? Because like it reminds me of Ella Fitzgerald when she does her scatting, when you do that real fast rapping. And I think it'll really complement the trap. Like this is Quincy talking to me. And I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever you want. And so I mean, it's like he's giving me direction as a hip hop artist, how to rhyme on a jazz record. That's how bad he was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do we appreciate him properly?
Quincy?
Yeah.
I think that real music fans do. Real music fans know the importance of him.
Mm-hmm.
You know the impact that he's had, what he's done for people, you know, like myself, Albie Shore, Barry White, you know, what he's done for Michael Jackson, what he's done for Ray Charles, Frank Sinatra, and so many others, so many soundtracks.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, you know, people that really appreciate music, yeah.
And I mean, I think he did the thing for Sanford and Son. So many of these jingles for these sitcoms.
Yeah.
He wrote those.
Oh yeah. No, amazing.
Have you ever been starstruck? In your 37 years, I said 40. In your 37 years, have you ever been starstruck by someone? Maybe in the earlier days. I mean, now you Kane. Everybody know who you're one of the greatest lyricists ever.
Yeah, I think the first time I met Barry White, it caught me off guard. I was like, oh, you know. Yeah, Barry White, yeah, that one, you know, really had caught me off guard, and that was at Quincy Jones' house.
Really?
Yeah, a cookout. Yeah.
How do you determine who you're going to collab with? People come in, they tell you like, okay, we want to write, we want to jump on something with you, want you to jump on something with us. How do you determine? Have you ever said no? Would you say no?
No, I've said no. I've said no to a lot of people. Sometimes it's like I don't like the direction of the song.
Okay.
And there's been times where it's like I don't really see how I can sit in this.
Right.
You know, and I mean that happens with stuff that I do. A track that I'm trying to do just by myself. I write something to it, and once I say it, it ain't sitting right. Nah, this ain't. You know, so you know, there's been situations like that.
Is it hard?
It's what hard?
Is it hard for you to turn somebody down?
Nah, because I mean, in the end, you want it to be right.
Right.
And even though, you know, in your mind, you may think that it's going to be right just because I'm on it, I'm telling you, this ain't going to be right.
This ain't it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know.
You did a song with Tito Jackson. How does Kane do a song with Tito Jackson?
Well, that came through my management. You know, like my manager Saquon had told me about it. You know, I was like, grew up listening to Jackson 5. I'd love to. So then they sent the song, and I heard the singing, and I called my manager back, and I'm like, man, this ain't no goddamn Tito Jackson, man. They trying to get us. See if we can get Tito on the phone. And then he set up a call, and Tito got on the phone. He's like, hey, what's happening, baby? What's happening, man? Yeah. I thought, oh, yeah, that's him. I was like, yeah, what you want?
Right, because if you didn't know, because the only really voice you ever heard was Michael's.
Well, now I've heard Tito sing.
Right.
And he has more of a blues feel.
Oh.
So like when I heard this with the whole, it had that popish Justin Timberlake feel. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, this ain't no damn Tito Jackson.
Right.
This is somebody trying to use his name. You know, this ain't Tito Jackson. But then when I talked to him on the phone, I'm like, nah, that's definitely Tito.
Right. You've culminated a lot of relationships in this business. ODB. How did you guys meet?
I had a show with Wu-Tang at Newark Symphony Hall in New Jersey.
Okay.
And that was my first time ever seeing him. So I stood up in the balcony and watched him. And then I told my road manager, yo, do me a favor. Get the old dirty bastard dude and get the girl with half her hair braided and bring them upstairs. I want to meet them. And then he brought them up. And because I couldn't really see because I was way up. So when he brought them up, he was like, yo, they're here, but he's like, that's not a girl, that's a little kid. Dude named Shaheem. I'm like, oh, okay, my bad. And they came in, and I told them how dope they was, and from that moment, we clicked. And Old Dirty and Shaheem hung out with me that night.
Right.
We went to a party in Queens, and we hung out, and we was tight ever since then.
How soon can you tell somebody's really good?
You know, sometimes you can meet someone and it just, you know, it just feel that way, you know, like off the cuff. You meet them and it's like, you know, like, I love this person energy. Sometimes you can meet someone and you can't really figure them out. You have to really get to know each other, because it's like you've seen them on TV. That image, that, you know, you created a perception.
And that's not a great representation. You need to see somebody in their natural element to get a real sense or a true feel of who and what they really are.
Yeah.
So you think hey, let's go break bread. You come to my house, I come to your house. We get into the studio, and to get a sense of who you are as an individual.
Yeah, like I've done that with a lot of people, you know, because you know, sometimes people trying to read me. So, you know, it's like, let me talk, you know, let me vibe with you first. Let's see where we at, you know? And, you know, I mean, I think that's important. I mean, I felt like Quincy Jones did that when we worked together. I felt like he did that when we worked together. Because it was like me, Melly Mel, Kumo D, and Ice-T. We all in the studio. And then he like, what you doing tomorrow? Like, can you come by? I'm like, yeah, I come by. And we just talking. We just sitting there talking. Then we went in, and he was doing something to the Secret Gardens track.
Yeah, James Ingram and DeBarge.
But he was just, it was just, I didn't hear nobody vocals. It was just the beat playing. He was messing with some EQs or something to that. And then we talking about this and that. And like, he was feeling me out. And then that's when he asked me, what do I know about, you know, Sarah Vaughan, you know. Next thing you know, he has all these black encyclopedias, and we chopping it up.
Right. You mentioned something earlier about Bobby Brown did you a solid. And there was really, at that point in time, there was not a whole lot of mixing. I mean, he was an R&B, and he brought a rap artist on and gave you 5, 10, 15 minutes to do your thing.
Yeah, like 10 minutes, yeah.
Did you realize how impactful that was and how that was going to change your life?
Yeah, I mean, I dreamed of playing the Garden. And, you know, it was like, if I never get to,
I did it that one time.
Yeah, you know? Yeah. And, you know, Bobby was my boy. Like, that was my dude. Like, I never forget back in, I want to say, maybe early 2000s, I was hanging out in St. Louis with Bobby Womack.
Okay.
And he was telling me these stories about what him and Wilson Pickett used to do. And you know, I'm taking it in, absorbing it, and I'm laughing. But the whole time I'm listening to the stories, saying to myself, yo, he's sitting here describing me and Bobby.
Right.
Like, everything he's saying is the crazy shit me and Bobby done did together. You know? And I'm like, wow, this is amazing, man.
Right. Another lyricist was Slick Rick, but you all didn't always have the best relationship. How does beef develop between artists? If we were to take women out of the equation, because we know women can, you know, he was dating her and blah, blah, whatever the case may be. But how do beefs develop between artists?
Sometimes beef can develop, you know, over...
The Justice Department presented 3 charges to a grand jury, which only agreed to proceed with 2 based on sufficient evidence. Now, when a grand jury obviously convenes, it's all secret. We don't know who they are. We don't know where they're from. We don't know what was said. It's all sealed. But this is a key detail. They only proceeded with 2.
That's how it went, where they make you go and take a mugshot. Is this more about justice, or is it about revenge?
It's about justice, really. It's not revenge. It's about justice. It's also about the fact that you can't let this go on. They are sick, radical left people, and they can't get away with it. And Comey was one of the people. He wasn't the biggest, but he's a dirty cop. He's always been a dirty cop. Everybody knew it, and it's you know, as far as the case is concerned, he gave an answer. It was just...
Yeah, he did provide an answer. It was just the wrong one, and that's exactly what the Department of Justice is focused on, is in convicting him on lying to Congress. Now, we know people have gone to prison for much less, by the way, especially when it involved Congress, but we'll see how this shakes out. Anyways, getting back to ground news, listen, the articles are already going to tell us what the narrative is going to be. This is an article that leans left. Trump's threat to justice, meaning what? That means what mainstream media is going to run with is that the president is threatening our democracy, he is threatening what it means to serve justice, and he's setting a dangerous precedent. The problem is with that logic is that we know they did the same thing to the president times 10. So I think they are the ones who actually put things in motion. Now we're just seeing it come full circle. But guys, I love to use ground news. So does my team. Why? Because we get to see what both sides are saying. And you want that. Why? Because that means you can make
years that there are costs to standing up to Donald Trump. But we couldn't imagine ourselves living any other way. We will not live on our knees, and you shouldn't either. Somebody that I love dearly recently said that fear is the tool of a tyrant, and she's right. But I'm not afraid, and I hope you're not either. I hope instead you are engaged, you are paying attention, and you will vote like your beloved country depends upon it, which it does. My heart is broken for the Department of Justice, but I have great confidence in the federal judicial system, and I'm innocent. So let's have a trial and keep the faith.
All right, let's just play a little game because it's not hard to understand what's happening here. Let's say your name is Donald Trump, and as soon as you were elected back in 2016, it came out that they spied on your campaign, and now they're officially accusing you of being a Russian asset, and they're basing all of this on fraudulent intelligence, manufactured intelligence, and also they use that to impeach you. Now let's fast forward to when you left the White House. They raid your home over classified documents. They raid your wife's panty drawer. Then the banks debanked your wife and your son, Barron. Then the FBI intimidated your business associates, your friends, and your family members by showing up at their doors, warning them not to do business with you. Just imagine that for a second. Then they hit you with these sham cases, like the RICO case down in Georgia, the business fraud in New York, and then Colorado trying to remove you off the ballot. Now, let's just stop there for a second, okay? You don't think someone had to commit a crime to do any of this to you? Of course they did. Someone lied somewhere. Someone manufactured paperwork somewhere to pull this off. There's no way you would do that to a former president unless you were trying to bend the law, find loopholes, or in some cases, violate the law, which is what James Comey did. So having said all of that, let's say you take back the White House. You don't think you want the DOJ to investigate these people for potential crimes? Of course you do. That's exactly what's going on here. Now, here's the president answering the question, will other people be indicted? Take a listen.
Not good.
I'm James Comey. Now that James Comey has been indicted, who is the next person on your list in this retribution?
It's not a list, but I think there'll be others. I mean, they're corrupt. These were corrupt, radical left Democrats. Because Comey essentially was he's worse than a Democrat. I would say the Democrats are better than Comey. But
Okay, so I believe a series of things are true at the same time. I think number one, the president has things going on in our country and outside our country that are much more important than James Comey, in my opinion, okay? I think that's true. Secondly, I think it's also true that people like James Comey, they had to commit a crime because the way they went out the president, they had to break some rules here or there or change the rules or even possibly lie to Congress like James Comey did, allegedly. And I think number three, Democrats are going to try to play the victim the entire time. And if anyone ever brings up that, hey, Democrats and mainstream media has always targeted the president from day one, you don't think he was ever going to respond? I mean, anybody would. That they'll just get upset at that, okay? They'll try to take that as the president trying to be a victim, and he's not. I think he's just doing the logical thing that anyone would do if you had experienced what he had experienced, especially over the past 4 years. Remember, they tried to assassinate him. But I don't think Chris Cuomo sees it that way because him and Bill O'Reilly had a debate over this very idea. Take a listen.
Unlike you, Cuomo, I'm not a mind reader. I know that in certain areas, big areas, important areas, he's trying to do the right thing for the country. I know that. Now, the petty stuff, that's where he gets into trouble. But I'm trying to say, look, you're at a point in history now where there are severe problems that you have to deal with. Don't
I agree.
run yourself down by getting
I agree.
involved with Jimmy Kimmel. But
I agree. That's great advice.
Trump's outrage is righteous because he knows the past 10 years that 5 major television news organizations and every urban newspaper in this country have tried to destroy him. And it's natural to seek retribution, because if they try to destroy him, they're going to try to destroy me or you or whatever. And Trump has exposed that at the highest level.
I don't agree with
it's
that
not
analysis.
that he's
I think Trump gets more criticism than anybody else. He also asks for more criticism than anybody else, and he also says more of what you call petty things than we've ever had to process before. And there's no question that everything's out of control. But the idea that he's a victim of it, and that's the end of the analysis, I disagree.
Yeah, so that's Chris Cuomo being Chris Cuomo, and he's not even listening to what Bill O'Reilly is saying. What he's saying is that, you know, these media companies, journalists, CNN, right, commentators, pundits, these legacy outlets, they made it their life's purpose to go after the president in so many different ways, and they don't have to. They chose to do that, and as a result, they destroyed themselves. So it's not that the president is a victim, and the president hasn't said he's a victim, and I don't think that's the point Bill O'Reilly was saying. He's just saying that, listen, we have a president who's been attacked more than any other president in history. So it's natural that he would feel defensive. It's natural he would, when given opportunities to try to hold these people accountable, that he would take it. Anybody would do that. To expect otherwise, I think, is being delusional.
Okay, but now I'm going to prove you wrong. On the No Spin News tonight, I had John Malone. You know Malone, right? A billionaire, oversaw Time Warner Discovery, which runs CNN. And he was
right before
a
they
champ
fired
to come
me.
on because he knew it wasn't going to be a cupcake interview like all the others that Mr. Malone did, because, you know, I said to him, when you watched what CNN has become, you were there. You're a huge stockholder. You saw it. You're smart enough to see it. You actually said stuff about it. They destroyed themselves by going into the Trump, I hate him mode, and away from the James Earl Jones, this is CNN, we cover the world, into petty, we hate him, whatever it is, we don't like it.
Yeah, so having to talk about this stuff every single day, you start to see the lessons that could really improve the quality of your life, especially when you're talking about human behavior. And that Democrats believe they have not done anything wrong over the past 10 years. Ever since President Trump announced he was going to run, they believe they haven't done anything wrong. And that's where they go wrong. They don't realize that the risk of attacking a president, then accusing him as a Russian asset, going after his family, his business associate, all this stuff, you don't think that has a cost? You don't think it's going to come around? And what's crazy about all this, even still today, they see it that way. In fact, they're acting like they are now the victims, okay? And now they're threatening and saying, well, Republicans need to understand that what goes around comes around. Here is Senator Blumenthal saying those words last night.
My colleagues have to draw a line. My Republican colleagues have to grow a spine here. For a decade, I have been waiting time after time, the Mueller report, the impeachment trial, again and again, for Republicans to say it is a bridge too far. And in effect, to say we need to preserve basic norms, essential rules that protect all of us. And the old saying, what comes around goes around. You know, today it's a Republican president, but degrading the democracy and ruining, literally perverting the great ethos and tradition of the Department of Justice, where I was in awe when I walked through those halls as a federal prosecutor. I think it's time for Republican colleagues to say enough is enough, and we are going to push them and do it hard on the Senate floor, privately, in the Judiciary Committee meetings, every moment, every opportunity. But
Okay, so that was Senator Blumenthal, which he's a liar in his own right. He lied about his military service, including being deployed to Vietnam, and I can go all day with that, but let me stop. The point here is that they're going to try to play the victim and convince the people of America that the president is on a warpath and he's targeting his political opponents, and that's all this is. And they're not going to tell you the full story behind it. Now, more importantly, if we remove all the noise and just focus on the legal aspect of this case now, what does the Department of Justice have to prove to make sure that James Comey is likely to be convicted? Take a listen.
Just want to know the case against Comey, how you see it playing out, and what the strengths and the weaknesses of the case are.
Yeah, hey Harris, always great to be back with you. Yeah, so this is a potentially challenging case. Why? Because prosecutors have to prove two things on the perjury or false statement charge. They've got to prove that first Comey authorized McCabe to do the leak to the Wall Street Journal. Why is that problematic? Because now there's a dispute as to whether McCabe said it the day after. In other words, the day after he leaked it, he allegedly went to Comey and said, "Hey, I leaked this." And then you've got Ted Cruz saying that McCabe got authorization from Comey. It's important because it creates kind of a factual quagmire, right? You've got Comey up against McCabe and trying to prove the false statement, and the Office of Inspector General already came down on McCabe saying that he's not really a credible witness. So that proves difficult. And then the second element on the perjury charge, Harris, that's challenging for prosecutors, they've got to prove that Comey said this knowingly and willfully. They knowingly and willfully lied. The standard is not he was careless when he said it or he was reckless when he said it. That's a harder standard to prove beyond a reasonable doubt in a federal court. You've got to, hopefully they have something like a text message or an email or possibly another independent witness that can corroborate that. So let's see what the evidence is on there. Do they have additional evidence to prove that?
So in other words, this is an uphill battle, and even if James Comey is not convicted, at least people will get to see the evidence they have against them and the crimes that, according to the Department of Justice, James Comey committed, and they will be able to provide receipts of that, and the public can make up their own mind. But as I told you guys earlier in this video, I don't think people really care at the end of the day, as long as their lives continue to improve. Okay, I think Americans at this point, we are results driven. Now, 87 million people, whether you like it or not, 77 million people, whether you like it or not, voted for the president to do this. They knew he would go after people like James Comey because they believe James Comey committed crimes against the president. That's why I say it's not really a surprise for many people. And I hope they do show the evidence publicly so people can see it for themselves, amongst all what we've already seen up to this point. Now, speaking about the public, there was a individual who called into C-SPAN this morning, and I found this exchange to be hilarious because it represents the problem in our country. This guy calls in talking about how James Comey is perfect. He did everything by the book, and the president's just crazy. Take a listen.
And for Trump to go after Comey at this point is very obvious, the trail that led up to this and his feelings about Comey. And the only mistake Comey ever made was getting involved with Trump.
Well, David, how do you respond to this? This is the Associated Press back in 2019. According to Inspector General Watchdog, Comey violated FBI policies in handling of memos. And this is what the Inspector General found. Violated FBI policies in his handling of memos documenting private conversations with President Trump. The Watchdog office said Comey broke Bureau rules by giving one memo containing unclassified information to a friend with instructions to share the content with a reporter. Comey also failed to return his memos to the FBI after he was dismissed in May of 2017, retaining copies of some of them in a safe at home, and shared them with his personal lawyers without permission from the FBI. Goes on to say the report is the second in as many years to criticize Comey's actions as FBI director, following a separate Inspector General rebuke for decisions made during the investigation into Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server. It is one of multiple Inspector General investigations undertaken in the last 3 years into the decisions and actions of didn't make any mistakes.
Say something? Yeah. Okay. Well, what I'd like to say is that's course of doing business. Okay? And when Trump had all those documents in his house, Florida, Mar-a-Lago home, what about that? Did that ever get followed up on? Okay. What about all the things that he has done, making his own Bitcoin, about going after his political enemies? What about his selling cars from Elon Musk on the White House lawn? If any other president, especially Obama, if he did that, what would we be hearing from the Republicans?
So you mean tell me that the FBI director at the time was working against the president by recording his conversations with the president, which violates FBI rules and regulations, so that he could attack the president and impeach him during his time in office? That means we have the FBI director looking to sabotage the duly elected president of the United States. And you say he's the victim? That James Comey is the victim and he did everything right? Come on, give me a break. But this is how people think. All right, let's hear from you guys in the comments section below. Do you believe James Comey deserved to be indicted, including the investigation against him by the Department of Justice?
And men, especially straight, white, Christian, conservative men of power, do you agree there is an attack upon men?
They haven't attacked me yet. So, no, I don't think I agree.
You don't agree. And I know that you are a male. What is a man?
A man who, yeah, if you want to go to classical definitions, there's a couple different ways to look at it. So, of course, we could go biological, but I think you guys know how that one is.
Right.
And then if you want to look at in terms of being a man, I'm probably not like some liberals these days that'll say, hey, no, it doesn't really matter. I think it matters. I think it is someone who stands up and is strong and provides. So yeah.
So a man is a male who stands up strong and provide?
Sure. Let's go with that.
And so are you a man?
I hope to God I am, yeah.
You're not sure?
I'm pretty sure, but I think that other people get to judge.
I read that you were raised Muslim, but you're now an atheist or an agnostic. Is that true?
Yes, I was born into a Muslim family, but we were pretty secular, so we barely practiced to begin with, and now I'm agnostic. Yep.
And so, what is it? So, does that mean that you don't believe in God?
That's exactly what it means. Yes.
What does it feel like to live a life without a belief in God?
It feels fantastic. It's liberating. You don't have to live under the mythical, theoretical, non-existent thumb of some overseer who's watching and judging everything you do, and you could actually live your life and enjoy it and be free.
Do you agree with me that you serve one God, either the God of good or the God of evil, because human beings are not in control of their own lives? You're influenced by either good or evil?
No, I do not believe that at all. I don't believe any part of that statement, no.
Really? And so where do you get your values from?
You get it from culture. And so culture is multifaceted. Your parents are a huge, huge part of it. The context that you grew up, the environment, and the media is a big part of it, for better or for worse. And you put all that together, and those are the influences that affect your decisions.
And how do you know that the values that you're getting from culture are the right values?
Oh, you don't know. Oftentimes people get very bad values. For example, a lot of people who live in the South live in a right-wing culture that leads them down a dark path.
And give me an example.
People who believe that guns are the answer, and they have guns all over their house, and lo and behold, somebody accidentally used it or used it in a moment of anger, winds up dying. That's a tiny example, but other examples, people who judge others for being gay, for being the wrong color, because they've been taught to be afraid of the others. So there's a ton of examples of learning fear and hate in your culture that leads people down a bad path.
Well, the people who support the Second Amendment do not believe that guns are the answer. They're just taking advantage of the Second Amendment. We're in a free country, and we have the right to bear arms without even having a reason for it. So that was a bad example. And homosexuality is wrong. We're not supposed to hate anyone, but we cannot accept wrong as though it's good, because it is not good for society to accept wrong as though it's good.
Jesse, just a quick question back at you. Do you eat shrimp at all?
Do I eat what?
Shrimp?
Yes.
You know that that's also in Leviticus, right next to the verse about homosexuality. You shall not eat shellfish. So why do you hate God so much?
And so you're justifying one bad behavior. You're saying that I'm wrong in order to justify homosexuality as being wrong?
I'm just asking you to be consistent, because I don't know why people aren't as worked up about people eating shrimp and crab and lobsters as they are about people being gay, because it is in the same exact part of the Bible. It's said in the same exact way. It's an abomination, and I don't know why you guys are completely okay with one abomination. Shrimp is delicious.
I don't know if it says eat shrimp is an abomination. I know it says homosexuality is, but I want to ask. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying you should read the Bible.
If you don't believe in the Bible, why would you quote it?
Because I studied it. I studied the Bible and the Quran, the Old Testament, all of it, before I decided that it was nonsense. I actually studied it, I read it, and then I realized every part of it is total mythology.
And how about common sense?
Oh, I'm a huge believer in common sense. Let's find out if it's actually common, though.
But common sense comes from God.
No, it's the exact opposite. It comes from human beings who have a certain common sense.
No.
God doesn't have common sense. He's God. He knows everything.
If you notice, human beings who that don't believe in God, they lack common sense. We just went through 8 years of hell with Barack Obama because he doesn't believe in God either. And so we went through straight 8 years of hell. But I want to move on because so many things I want to talk to you about. What do you think about this crazy attack from the godless women, the children of the devil, this movement called Me Too, these haters of men?
I am speaking today, not just for the Me Too's, because I was a Me Too. But when I raise my hand, I am aware of all the women who are still in silence. The women who are faceless.
I think the Me Too movement has been revolutionary. I think it's been fantastic, not just for women, but also, as Martin Luther King Jr. used to say, to liberate the folks from hatred in their hearts who were doing wrong. See, that's a reverend I can get behind. And so if you are a woman and you were constantly harassed or abused or assaulted throughout all these decades by men in power, now you're lying to fight back.
They were lying. And how about the hatred in the hearts of the women who are behind this so-called movement attacking men?
So, first of all, you said they were lying. I don't know who they are.
Those women are out there rallying.
About the Me Too movement was lying?
Yes.
You are funny, man. No wonder you have a show. Okay. No, not remotely the case.
They didn't prove anything. And not all of them were lying, of course. There's always exceptions to the rule, but most were. They could just say it, and then the man is automatically guilty without proof.
So that's also not true. And so let me explain statistics. So look, these are it's not a perfect analogy, but it's pretty close. In rape cases, are there situations where the woman is not telling the truth, or a man if he claims he was raped? Of course there are, right? That's why we have a justice system, and you're innocent until proven guilty. But the stats are that about 98% of the time, the victim is telling the truth. 98%.
It's not true. Those are made up lies.
Percentage for the Me Too movement.
That's not true.
It's rough, but it's about right.
Those stats are absolutely false. And what you have to realize that the children of the lie, they are other lies, so they have to make up lies. And those stats are absolutely false. Not to believe them. I want to talk to you about this whole Starbucks controversy. where these two black guys went into Starbucks there in Philadelphia, and they, according to the report, they sat there, they didn't buy anything. The manager asked them to leave, and they gave the manager a hard time. They called the cops. The cops said, "You got to go," and they gave the cops a hard time, so they had to put handcuffs and take them out. And now they're catering to these angry black thugs. And when I come back from this short break, I want to know if you think that's a good idea to cater to thugs. 888-7753-773. Is it good to cater to blacks who are acting out in a wrong manner, who are crying racism, who goes into a cafe and just sit there and then cry racism afterwards? Is it good to cater to them or correct them?
What is there to correct? They were there to do a business deal. I mean, before we went to the break, I think you called them thugs. They were businessmen who were going to do actually a fairly high-priced real estate deal. So they probably have more money than you or I, Jesse.
But that doesn't make them right or good people because they have money.
No, I understand that, but they didn't do anything wrong at all. They did what I've done and what millions of people have done at Starbucks forever and ever. They sat there, they had a meeting, and Starbucks encourages people to sit there, whether they buy or they don't buy. That's their business model.
So the black police commissioner, was he lying when he said that they acted out, they gave lip service to the manager, they yelled at the police officers, and that the officers did nothing wrong? Was the black police commissioner of Philadelphia lying?
So first of all, the fact pattern that you just laid out of him saying is not something you should get arrested for. Lip service.
Well, you said they didn't do anything.
Hosts, we give lip service to people all the time. Are we going to get arrested any second now? Well, what is that? That's not a crime. That's not a charge.
It's wrong.
The police officers did a false arrest of me for no apparent reason. I wouldn't agree with them either.
So I want to go back real fast to the question: is it good to cater to blacks who are complaining and accusing and crying racism for the last 60 years, and they'll refuse? And not all blacks, of course, but most, they're refusing to get up and do for themselves. Is it right to pamper them?
So, Jesse, the premise of your question of
what if I told you, all you out there celebrating Jimmy Kimmel getting his show back, you might...
How much?
Yo, what's up? We don't do no fucking camera.
Hey. Hey. How much for Gucci? What's 20? Oh, look, they're picking everything up. How much you got? How much money does somebody make here on Canal Street selling fake Gucci?
I sell in 2 months. I make 1,000.
I can. Everyone wants a photo. We're here in New York City. Oh, I don't have money for Minnie Mouse. Illegal migrant scams have taken over New York City as they control multiple blocks and sell counterfeit items, while some wear shirts that say "I'm not a scammer," to trapping you in a photo with Pedro Parker in Times Square. These scams have exponentially grown as New York City welcomes foreign-sized armies from Africa and Latin America run lawless in America's biggest city. I hit the street to see these New York City scammers firsthand, and not only do these scammers yell when they see a camera, they also attack. And as soon as I stepped onto Canal Street, I was approached by one of the scammers. No, I'm good. Thank you. No, I'm all right. Thanks, though. Are they real?
Yes, of course.
Really? How'd you get them?
That's our business.
It's your business.
Listen, that's the market.
Okay.
That's the market. Anywhere in the world, there is a market that people can get everything they want with cheap price.
Black market. Okay.
Black market.
Black market.
Brother.
How much?
No, give me 150.
150?
You know that's black market. Really.
Yeah.
They video for you.
And apparently a camera to these guys is like kryptonite. Next thing I knew, a whole entire group of guys came to try and take my camera.
You taking me video? Let me see.
Delete the video first.
Stop it.
Delete the video
I was just
first.
filming the stream.
No,
He approached me.
You filming him.
Well, he
I
approached
see
me.
you.
So
He approached me.
So you take me video right?
He approached
video.
me.
Stop it. Take it off.
Yo, leave. And as I was escaping the hands of these scammers, I wondered, where were the police at? And it turns out they were just sitting on the corner, just doing absolutely nothing. No offense, NYPD, but they were doing nothing. So the next day I came back to Canal Street to see exactly what the operation looks like and to give you guys a glimpse of these scammers. And oh boy, does this get crazy. And all this illegal activity happens right here in Chinatown. It's rumored that they buy the stuff here from China, the illegal goods, and then they sell them here on Canal Street because they're able to buy it for a lot cheaper. And then there's like a little black market that's going on, and then they sell it right here on Canal Street in front of all these other businesses. We're heading in right now, and let's see how many scammers we get and see how many people are scamming out here on the streets. What are you guys selling today? AirPods? How much?
60.
60?
Yeah.
Are they real?
Yeah, it's working, bro.
Oh, they're working.
Yeah, it's working.
Within just a few steps, we are encountered by 3 more scammers. Oh, what do we have here? Louis Vuitton. Wow, we got everything out here today. How much? It was literally impossible to walk and not get caught into a counterfeit scam. Hello, what can we get? Wow, we can get any of this? Gucci backpack.
This is Gucci backpack.
I see we can get whatever we want here.
Gucci backpack, this one.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And purses?
The price of which one?
Oh, yeah, how much?
75.
$75? Oh,
Yeah.
that's a little too much.
This is
Too much. We'll keep going. $25?
Huh?
$25?
$25.
She was disgusted by the 25. Now, it's not a secret that Canal Street is known for selling counterfeit items and for illegal scams to be happening. In fact, it's actually been going on for years. However, it's gone next level since the open border and illegal migrants flooded into New York City. Would you say there's more sellers than ever before here on Canal Street?
Of course, a lot more. By
How
far
much more?
I would say more like it's more than 75% now. Because as you can see, everywhere you turn, everybody's selling something.
75% increase here on Canal Street, nearly doubled.
I would say, yeah.
Now it was time to bargain and see the quality of these counterfeit items.
What do you need?
Where are you guys from?
What do you need? What do you need? From Africa. What do you need?
What kind of watches you got?
Which one?
Rolex? Rolex?
Yeah.
Oh,
Give me 150. 150.
$50.
Give me 70.
70? Too much.
Give me 50.
$50? Okay, he'll do it for $50.
Thank you.
We got a Rolex for $50. This is fake. But if you were to see this just at face value, you really wouldn't think twice about it because they do look pretty legit, if I'm being honest. Oh, we got another watch? We're getting hit up by all sorts of scammers out here. Look at this. No, I just bought this for $50 already. $20. They don't like when you get too low. Look, this is how they come through here. They come through with their cards. All these bags right here, full of fake Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Prada. You guys think these guys have licenses and permits to be selling out here? I don't think so. Literally, just streets on streets. Look at all these girls out here just buying the fake Gucci. They got the Prada, Louis Vuitton. Why no video? No video. Why not?
Don't be in public.
We're in public. They don't like the cameras here. They know they're doing stuff illegally. They don't want to get caught. New York City's not coming here, shutting down anybody from selling. Look, just right outside of the McDonald's. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 10 people out here selling stuff outside of the McDonald's here on Canal Street. This is public space. We can be filming here on the streets of New York City. These people are doing stuff illegally, and we can be out here talking, and we shouldn't have to be afraid because of people coming from other countries telling us what we should do here on our streets here in the United States. It's time to stand on business. What do you think about all these illegal scammers out here in New York City?
Shit, never hate a hustle.
And what do you got here on your wrist? Are these real or are these from the scammers?
Oh, these are for the scammers. Because, I mean, also the big companies, half of them produce them, you know, in the same country, China, and then just have it sent to them.
When you're on your date with these nice bracelets, the fake Rolex, do you feel like a man with confidence knowing that what you're wearing
it's because
is fake?
these big,
or do you think the date even realizes that they're fake?
They don't even, nobody realizes. Like, if you're not a jeweler, you're not going to look at my watch and go, yeah, you got that on Canal. Like, half of this shit all looks the same because they're made in the same place. One's made at the night shift and one's made in the morning shift.
And while we're on the topic of scams and people being dishonest, wanting your money or your information, I want to tell you guys I'm a sponsor of today's video, Delete Me.